Bloodborne! Wait, what do you mean we're not doing Bloodborne today? Super Metroid. I thought Bloodborne was first. Metroid Appreciation. Oh, right, Dread's coming out next week. Oh, shit. Excuse me one moment. Super Metroid. Yeah, that's totally what I planned to do a review on first. Jokes aside, I've been wanting to do this one for a while, and unlike Bloodborne, it's not going to be nearly 30 minutes long. Not to say there isn't a lot to talk about and review here, just that it's a very well-known older game that has been picked apart and covered in so much detail that there is not a lot left for me to talk about. But I got some things. Let's start with why this is the definitive Metroid game. You go the fuck away, Prime! Deal with you when 4 finally comes out. Ugh. Hate that game. Fine, definitive 2D Metroid game. Even if I am kind of partial to Fusion. Super Metroid is a side-scrolling adventure platforming game with power-ups hidden in every nook and cranny of its overworld, each that unlock further and faster exploration. At its very core, that is Metroid, and all of Metroid. Yeah, that's it right there, that's one sentence. Metroid, summed up. You're welcome. What makes Metroid, and specifically this game, super, is how they go about this. Items are well hidden to the point that you will miss 50% of them in your first playthrough, but they are not without some valid hints and reasoning, most of the time. The important shit is never hidden unfairly, and simply going where your current powers can take you will progressively further your, well, progress. This room's too hot, find a heat-proof badass suit. These blocks have arrows on them, find something that makes you move that way fast enough to break them. That looks like a fat missile. Use the fat missile. The progression system is very new player friendly, with the exception of Meridia, but ocean levels always suck, and it's kind of like the last main level before you go down to Lower Norfair anyway. However, the difference between Super Metroid and so many other games, including other Metroid games, is how expert player friendly it is, thanks to 3 advanced moves: wall jumping, shine sparking, and bomb jumping. Using these tricks, and that BS anti-gravity spring ball thing, you can literally go wherever you want, whenever you want with the right skills. Now, being able to do some of these tricks and not understand the repercussions of such actions can softlock your game, but you were trying to break it in the first place. Not the game's fault. You gotta learn the game the hard way sometimes. Speaking of learning, this is where Super stands helmet and plumped up shoulder pads above all others, teaching the player without saying a fucking word. It is absolutely magical how this game, with no dialogue and only a few brief text boxes explaining the basic functions of new items that you grabbed, tells you everything you need to know and can do. No overlong, condescending tutorial needed. Oh, I'm not even gonna tell you to fuck off. You know what you did. You're the reason we have to celebrate getting a new Metroid game. Shoo! Shoo, shoo, shoo. Let me show you something. You see that shit? Do you see? It may not look like much, but the game, with 0 prompting, just taught you 2 very important things as a new player. 1, bombs bounce you into the air. 2, just because you can't see a hole in the wall doesn't mean it's not there. This is single-handedly Nintendo's masterpiece of instructional guides, and it happens about 5 minutes into the game. Conveniently, just after the concept of kill-all rooms and changing environments are explained through backtracking. Just in case you skip this little side room and missile peck, fear not! Nintendo, in their internal wisdom, had a few backups planned just for you lazy would-be adventurers. So this is something so simple and yet so critical to Super Metroid, this conveyance of techniques and abilities. They ain't done either. Enter the most talked about non-speaking animals in gaming, the Edakuns and Decoras. Which one's which? Everyone knows by now that they wordlessly explain the concept of wall jumping and shine sparking, which is great. It also helps that they are absolutely smarter than Samus and are carriers of the X-Parasite, but that's for Fusion. Next thing this game does right is the music and atmosphere of the game, but I feel like I cannot explain music well enough to do this justice, and I already dedicated an entire page of Bloodborne script to something very similar. So just know, ocean equals smooth and tranquil, magmatic core equals powerful and pounding, creepy ghost ship, sufficiently creepy. I want to highlight Brinstar and the upper parts of Norfair for the boppy and adventurous music, as those sections are all about you just blasting ass through everything and powering up before felling your first real foe. And then shit gets weird heading into Wreck Ship. Speaking of the foes, let's talk combat. It kinda sucks. Not gonna lie. Point in one of 8 directions, shoot, beam, or missile, win. Or, fumble around trying to precision aim at creatures to hit over and over. Oh, and also dodge this random projectile fired by this a-hole while trying to kill this thing. The combat is simple and easy, so to counter this from being so easy it's boring, the devs just throw more shit and then more tanky shit at you. The bosses are the worst purveyors of this, except for Crocomire and Ridley, as they prefer to fight fairly. Although Croc has infinite HP and is a gimmick fight that amounts to tug of war, and Ridley's kind of a joke by the time you reach him. That said, Dragon is probably the best fight in the game, as you can fight him straight on, or use a bit of innate knowledge and skill to kill him. So the combat is lackluster and kind of an inconvenience. This is actually a good thing. Generally, when something inconveniences you and does so regularly, you start finding ways to avoid or get around the inconvenience. You might notice throughout the game that there are only a few kill-all rooms, and they generally have space pirates and active antagonistic enemies in them. These are your only real enemies here. Everything else is just a native creature that is living its best life before you show up and shove a super missile up its ass. Stopping, fighting, and resource farming take a lot of time and are kind of annoying, so you're incentivized to ignore enemies as much as possible and do as little fighting in exchange for moving faster and keeping more health and missiles. Like I said, this game has very few problems, and even the problems it does have are kind of on purpose, with one minor exception. One teeny tiny little practically non-existent. The entire upper Norfair loop. Alright, hear me out. Following basic progression is new. You grab your charge beam and spazer before setting out to Norfair. You see a wall and try bombing because that's what you do. Oh, you need the fat missiles to go through. Easy enough, and you just got them from Spore Spawn. Oh, can't reach this place yet. So you go down, check a room, can't do anything here. Go down more. Hey, some boots that make you jump high. Alright. This room's on fire. Okay, back up, bomb everything, kill a fat dragon, grab a fireproof suit, go back down. Hot room's no longer hot, let's go right. Big ol' loop-de-loop around Bubble Mountain, and bam, now you go fast. You also find an area that has these funny blocks hanging from the ceiling. Notes for later. Nothing else to do here except down the other way. Wait, can't go through here. Gate's facing the wrong way. Alright, maybe later. Go back left to room above Jumpy Shoes. Hey, I run fast now. Grab the cool beam. The fuck is this for? Leave room the hard way after bombing everything. Ooh! Need bigger butt bombs. Nothing to the right, nothing to the left. Go back up. Hey, how do I get out of here? Freeze these floating things to use as platforms. Go all the way up the red tower, cross the anger developer room, go down, find big butt bombs, now go all the fucking way back down to the room that requires go fast, shit on the floor, go down and around. Oh, hey Crocomire, bye Crocomire, hello Nightmare Fuel. Jump across the acid because we all do our first time, go back, watch a skeleton powered by the spirit of Christmas gift you a new place to go. All the way down, shit on the floor, run fast, jump, grab swingy beam, go all the fucking way back up, go right, check the room with the swinging blocks on the ceiling, get the whooshy beam, now what the fuck do you do with that? Go all the way back to the start and hopefully you saw the shortcut elevator when you got the big butt bombs and then progress. So why is that an issue? You ran back and forth across Norfair like 5 times and still have to leave it twice just to go down further and then come all the way back up. This progression loop is so fucking dumb and tedious. And here's the problem. No other area of the game is anything like this. Once you leave Criteria, you are done with Criteria. Once you leave Wrecked Ship, you are done with Wrecked Ship. Once you go to Meridia, you leave with everything. When you return to Norfair and head into Lower Norfair, you don't leave until you have everything and can beat the game. The Crade through Crocomire loop is such an inconsistent part of the game. The other issue is that you keep getting new shit one logical place too late. Ice Beam should have been under Speed Booster and you should not have needed Grapple for that room. Or just switch the Ice Beam area and the Wave Beam areas and this whole thing works out so nicely with only minimal backtracking. Well, except for the big butt bombs, being on top of Brinstar and all that. Honestly, keep PBs where they are, but make it so that they aren't needed to get grapple, and we're good to go. So that was a lot. Truth be told, when I was working on this episode, I replayed Super Metroid, and that was really the only issue that stuck out to me. Every other complaint I had was combat related or just a me using something other than a SNES controller issue. The rest of the game is basically perfect. I mentioned that an expert in the game can skip around the map more, and it really does fix that progression loop, since, you could just wall jump up Bubble Mountain for Speed Booster and Wave Beam, and making so that you basically just hug the left side of Norfair. Also, you can skip going down there without Varia and big butt bumps by wall jumping and a wee bit of luck. However, it's not on the player to fix the game. The issues I will always raise with games are entirely based on casual playthroughs and approaches, so the quick jogging community has minimal bearing on these videos. So yeah, that's Super Metroid. As I mentioned, its praises have been sung enough and I can't find much wrong with it. Keep in mind, this game has been out for 27 years and it hasn't been remade, remastered, updated, or anything, just ported over and over. The version you play on the Switch Virtual Console is the same game that you played on the SNES. It's funny, there's actually another game for the SNES that is also regarded by some as the crown jewel of its franchise that has not been touched since the SNES, aside from all the ports. I wonder if that's the only thing they have in common. Before the end of the video, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and you should totally subscribe. I mean, if you've made it all the way this far, yeah, obviously you enjoyed it. You can also like the video to let me know that you enjoyed it, or just leave me a comment down below. These reviews take significantly longer to produce than anything else on the channel, so it's nice to see a little extra support when I can get them out. The one for Bloodborne should be out soonish. But until then, some more stream highlights, clips, and of course the Pokemon Plushie Pal videos will keep on coming. Oh, and that morning stream I do, you know, the morning grind. Mondays and Wednesdays at 10:30, you should totally check it out. And the night streams over the weekend. You should stop by and say hi. Just, you know, once in a while, I get lonely. You don't want me to be lonely, right? For now though, I have been the Potato Lord NC, and this has been a fair review.